Salvete omnes. Today we will be learning from Chapter 11 of Wheelock, which includes the personal pronouns ego, tu, and is, ea, id, as well as the demonstrative pronoun is, ea, id, and idem, eadem, idem. You will remember from Chapter 9 that a pronoun is a noun that takes the place of another noun. There are multiple types of pronouns. In Chapter 9, we learned 3 of the demonstrative pronouns, or pronouns that point out or indicate something. These are usually translated as this, that, these, those, etc. There are also personal pronouns. These are pronouns that refer to people. The first person pronoun is I in the singular and we in the plural. The second person pronoun is you in the singular and you all in the plural. The third person pronoun is he, she, it in the singular and they in the plural. You can see on your screen now the declension of the first and second personal pronouns in the singular and plural. The first person singular pronoun is ego. It declines as follows. Ego in the nominative, mei in the genitive, mihi in the dative, me in the accusative, and me in the ablative. In the nominative it is translated as I, and in all other cases it is translated as me. The first person plural pronoun is nos. It declines as follows. Nos in the nominative, nostrum or nostri in the genitive, nobis in the dative, nos in the accusative, and nobis in the ablative. It is translated as we in the nominative and us in all other cases. The second person singular pronoun is tu. It declines as follows. Tu in the nominative, tui in the genitive, tibi in the dative, te in the accusative, and te in the ablative. It is translated as you. The second person plural pronoun is wos. It declines as follows. Wos in the nominative, westrum or westri in the genitive, wobis in the dative, wos in the accusative, and wobis in the dative. It is translated as you all. These pronouns can be any gender. You just have to figure out what gender they are based on the context of the sentence. What you see on your screen now is the declension of the third person personal pronoun. The third person pronoun declines differently for each gender. This pronoun declines very similar to ile and iste. It looks mostly like a first-second declension noun, except in the genitive and dative singular, where the endings are yet again ius and e. You will want to memorize the forms of all of these pronouns. In addition to being a personal pronoun, is, ea, id can also be translated as a demonstrative pronoun or adjective. Thus, it can mean both he and that man, ea, she, and that woman, and id, it, and that thing. Now let's just talk briefly about how pronouns work. Wheelock gives a fantastic summary of the various ways that pronouns are used, and it is well worth your time to review this multiple times. However, I will give you a few highlights. Most of the time, pronouns work just like regular nouns. However, nominative pronouns, ego, tu, etc., are only used when the speaker wants to add emphasis. When the preposition cum is used with a pronoun, cum becomes enclitic. You'll recall from previous vocab that this means it is smacked onto the end of the word. Therefore, with us in Latin is nobiscum. You'll see that this is the ablative of nos with the preposition cum placed at its end. Cum is the only adjective that does this. One of the most important things to know about these pronouns is the fact that the first and second pronouns do not use the genitive of the personal pronoun to show possession. Instead, they use the possessive adjectives, meus, tuus, etc. Therefore, my wife in Latin is mea uxor, not uxor mei. Your wife is tua uxor, not uxor tui. However, is, ea, id in the genitive can be used for possession. Therefore, his wife would be uxor eius. Their book would be liber eorum. One other pronoun / adjective we learned in this chapter is idem, eadem, idem, which translates as the same. This is a demonstrative that is formed by adding dem to the ending of the forms of is, ea, id. Most of the forms are normal. The genitive in all genders is eustem and the dative eidem, etc. However, there are some irregularities. You'll see that the masculine nominative is idem, not istem. Same with the neuter nominative, idem, not ididem, with 2 Ds. In the genitive plural and accusative singular of all genders, the final N shifts to an M, because the Romans didn't like the sound of a M and a D together. Therefore, the masculine genitive plural is eorundem, the feminine genitive plural is eorundem, and the neuter genitive plural is eorundem. Similarly, the masculine accusative singular is eundem, the feminine accusative singular is eondem, and, following the neuter rule, the neuter accusative singular is idem. The story from this chapter is also from Cicero. It is an adapted excerpt from his speech against Catiline. Catiline, Lucius Sergius Catilina, was a Roman senator best known for the Second Catilinarian conspiracy. In this conspiracy, he was helped by a group of aristocrats and disgruntled veterans. The aim of this conspiracy was to overthrow the Roman Republic in 63 BC. Cicero explodes the plot and forced Catiline to flee Rome, a fact that Cicero never let the Romans forget. He even apparently wrote his own epic poem about it. His speech denouncing Catiline in front of the Roman Senate is one of his most famous speeches. That's all for this chapter. Be sure to complete your forum posts by Friday night, your quizzes by Saturday night, and your worksheets by Sunday night. In addition, if you are taking advantage of the new extra credit opportunity, you will need to have that in by Sunday night. Volete omnes.